Welcome, dear ones. Today we're going to talk about something a little uncomfortable, but oh, so necessary, life's hard lessons. These are the truths that many of us don't hear growing up, but they are essential to our growth. But don't worry, even the hardest lessons can become a pathway to healing. Remember, every challenge you face holds a treasure. Every pain, when embraced with love, has the potential to become your greatest gift. Happiness is not something that anyone else can give you. It's not something you find by achieving a goal, earning a certain amount of money, or even finding the perfect relationship. Those things can bring moments of joy or satisfaction, but true, lasting happiness comes from within. It's the realization that you, and only you, are responsible for how you feel about your life. Many of us grow up believing that external circumstances determine our happiness. We think, if only I had this job, or if only I were in a relationship, then I'd be happy, but life doesn't work that way. Even when you achieve those things, if your internal world, your thoughts and beliefs remains unchanged, the happiness you feel will be fleeting. This is because happiness is an inside job. It is a reflection of how you think, feel, and act in response to the world around you. What does it mean to be responsible for your happiness? It means recognizing that your thoughts create your reality. Every day, you have a choice in how you interpret the events of your life. You can choose to focus on the negative, on what's lacking or what went wrong, and this will inevitably bring you down. Or you can choose to focus on what's good, on what you have to be grateful for, and on the possibilities for growth and learning. This shift in perspective can transform your experience of life. Being responsible for your own happiness also means letting go of the need for approval from others. So often we place our self-worth in the hands of those around us, thinking that if others see us as successful or worthy, then we can feel good about ourselves. But true happiness is independent of outside validation. When you start to love and accept yourself just as you are, without needing anyone else's approval, you step into your own power. It's important to understand that happiness is not something that happens to you. It's something you create moment by moment with your thoughts, choices, and actions. When you take responsibility for your happiness, you stop waiting for life to be perfect and start appreciating the beauty and joy that exists in every moment. You reclaim your power, and you realize that everything you need to be happy is already within you. Pain is an inevitable part of life. No one can avoid it, though we often wish we could. Whether it comes in the form of emotional heartache, physical suffering, or disappointment, pain visits each of us. It can feel overwhelming and unbearable at times, but it's important to understand that pain is not something to run from or fear. Instead, it is a teacher, guide on the journey of life, offering profound lessons that, when embraced, can lead to growth, healing, and transformation. We live in a culture that often encourages us to numb or avoid pain. We distract ourselves with entertainment, overwork, or unhealthy habits in an effort to escape discomfort. But when we do this, we miss the opportunity that pain brings. Pain has a way of pointing us toward what needs our attention. It shines a light on areas of our lives that are out of balance or unresolved. Often it's an indicator that there's something within us that needs to heal, whether it's a limiting belief, a wound from the past, or an unhealthy pattern in our behavior or relationships. When we face pain with openness and compassion rather than resistance, we begin to see it differently. Instead of viewing it as a punishment or something to be feared, we can see it as a doorway to deeper understanding. Pain breaks us open, making space for new insights and realizations. It softens the hard edges of our hearts, fostering empathy and connection with others who have also suffered. Through pain, we come to understand our own strength and resilience. It's important to remember that pain is temporary, even though in the moment it may feel endless. Just as storms pass, so too will the dark clouds of pain. But what remains after the storm is the wisdom and growth that pain brings. Every time we move through pain, we emerge stronger, wiser, and more in tune with ourselves. Rather than running from pain, we can learn to embrace it as part of the journey. When we do, we no longer fear life's inevitable challenges. We understand that pain is not a dead end, but a stepping stone on the path to greater healing and self-awareness. It is through pain that we grow, and it is through growth that we find true peace and inner strength. Change is one of the most fundamental truths of life. Everything in existence is in a constant state of flux, yet many of us resist it, seeking comfort in stability and predictability. We yearn for life to stay the same when things are going well, and we dread the unknown when faced with transitions. But the sooner we accept that change is inevitable and constant, the more we can flow with it rather than fight against it. Change is not something to fear. It is a natural and essential part of the human experience, and it is through change that we grow and evolve. Whether it's a change in our personal circumstances, relationships, health, career, or even within ourselves, life never stays still. Seasons shift, people come and go, opportunities arise and fade, and we ourselves are in a continual state of becoming. At times, change can feel unsettling or even threatening. We might cling to what is familiar, even if it's no longer serving us, because the unknown can seem daunting. However, when we resist change, we create suffering for ourselves. Resistance is a refusal to accept what is, and it only deepens our sense of fear and discomfort. Yet when we learn to embrace change as a natural part of life, something magical happens. We open ourselves to the possibilities that change can bring. We begin to see that with every ending comes a new beginning, and that growth is often born out of discomfort. Change pushes us out of our comfort zones, forcing us to confront new challenges, learn new skills, and discover strengths we didn't know we had. It is in these moments of transformation that we expand into the fullest version of ourselves. Change also teaches us the importance of letting go. Life is a journey of constant movement, and part of that journey is learning to release what no longer aligns with us. Whether it's outdated beliefs, toxic relationships, or old habits, change requires us to surrender the past in order to make space for the new. This can be painful, but it is also liberating. By letting go of the old, we allow new opportunities, people, and experiences to enter our lives. In embracing change, we also cultivate trust in the flow of life and in our own ability to adapt and thrive. Life is always guiding us toward growth and transformation, even when the path seems uncertain. When we accept that change is the only constant, we no longer fear it. Instead, we can welcome it as an invitation to evolve, knowing that each change, no matter how challenging, is a step forward on our soul's journey. In life, people will come and go. This is one of the most difficult realities to accept, yet it is an inevitable part of our journey. From friendships to romantic relationships and even family ties, the people who enter our lives may not always stay forever. Some relationships are only meant to last for a season, while others may end unexpectedly or evolve in ways we never anticipated. Learning to let go of people without resentment or fear is a crucial part of our emotional and spiritual growth. We often form deep attachments to those who cross our paths, and these connections can feel vital to our sense of identity and belonging. When someone leaves, whether by choice, circumstance, or the natural course of life, it can feel like a piece of ourselves is missing. The pain of loss, whether through a breakup, drifting apart, or even death, can leave us feeling empty or abandoned. However, this does not mean the relationship was a failure. Every person we encounter plays a role in our growth, and we play a role in theirs. Relationships are mirrors, reflecting aspects of ourselves back to us, our strengths, our fears, our hopes, and our wounds. The people who come into our lives bring lessons, whether we realize it at the time or not. Some teach us about love, trust, and vulnerability, while others challenge us to set boundaries or stand up for ourselves. And then there are those who, through their absence, teach us the value of our own company, self-love, and resilience. Not all relationships are meant to last a lifetime, but they are all meaningful. Each person leaves an imprint on our hearts, helping us grow in ways we might not have if they hadn't been a part of our lives. Letting go of people is not about forgetting or devaluing the relationship. It's about acknowledging that everyone has their own path, and sometimes those paths diverge. When we try to hold on to someone who no longer belongs in our lives, we cause ourselves unnecessary suffering. The natural flow of life requires us to release the past so that we can make space for new connections, new experiences, and new growth. It's important to trust that the right people will enter your life at the right time, and that some of them will stay while others will move on. This cycle of coming and going is part of the rhythm of life. By accepting it with grace, we free ourselves from the fear of loss and learn to appreciate the beauty of each connection, no matter how long it lasts. Every encounter is an opportunity for love, learning, and expansion. Your thoughts have immense power, far more than many of us realize. The way you think shapes your reality, influencing not only your emotions and actions, but also the experiences you attract into your life. This idea, often referred to as the law of attraction or the power of positive thinking, is rooted in the belief that your inner world, your thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes creates your outer world. While this may seem abstract at first, when you begin to observe the connection between your thoughts and your life, the truth of this concept becomes undeniable. Every thought you think sends out a vibration, and that vibration affects your energy. If your thoughts are predominantly negative, filled with doubt, fear, or self-criticism, you are radiating that energy into the world. Over time, this attracts experiences, people, and situations that mirror those very thoughts. For example, if you constantly think, "I'm not good enough," or "I always fail," you begin to subconsciously act in ways that reinforce those beliefs. You may hesitate to pursue opportunities, settle for less, or self-sabotage. This is how negative thought patterns become self-fulfilling prophecies. On the other hand, when you focus on positive, empowering thoughts, you open yourself to a world of possibilities. Thoughts like, "I am capable," "I deserve happiness," or "I attract abundance" uplift your energy and shift your perspective. You start seeing opportunities where there were once obstacles. You attract people who support and inspire you. Positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending life is perfect. Instead, it's about choosing to focus on solutions, growth, and the good in every situation, no matter how small. Your thoughts are the lens through which you perceive the world. When you change your thinking, you change your perception, and in turn, you change your experience of reality. It's important to remember that thoughts are habits, and just like any habit, they can be changed with intention and practice. If you find yourself stuck in a cycle of negative thinking, start by becoming aware of your thoughts. Pay attention to your self-talk and the stories you tell yourself. Then gently begin to replace limiting thoughts with more empowering ones. Affirmations are a powerful tool for reshaping your thoughts. By repeating positive statements about yourself and your life, you rewire your brain to focus on possibility rather than limitation. Over time, these affirmations become your default way of thinking, and as your inner dialogue shifts, so too will your outer reality. Your thoughts are the seeds you plant in the garden of your life. Nurture them wisely, and they will blossom into the reality you desire. One of the most liberating yet difficult truths to accept is that not everyone will like you. And that's okay. From an early age, many of us are taught to seek approval and validation from others. We learn to mold ourselves to fit into societal norms, family expectations, and peer pressures, believing that if we are liked by everyone, we are doing something right. However, this desire for universal acceptance often leads to a loss of authenticity. The truth is, trying to be liked by everyone is not only impossible, but it also robs you of the opportunity to live as your true self. The reality is, people have different perspectives, values, and preferences. What resonates with one person may not resonate with another, and that's a reflection of diversity, not of your worth. You could be the most kind, intelligent, or talented person in the world, but there will always be someone who doesn't appreciate or understand you. This doesn't diminish your value, it simply means that your essence, your energy, or the way you move through the world might not align with theirs. And that's perfectly fine. You are not here to meet everyone's expectations. When you spend too much energy trying to please others, you begin to lose touch with who you really are. You might compromise your beliefs, suppress your needs, or put on a facade just to gain approval. But this approval comes at the cost of your own authenticity. Over time, this disconnect between your true self and the persona you project can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction, emptiness, or even resentment. The more you try to fit into someone else's mold, the further you drift from your own path. Understanding and accepting that not everyone will like you is a form of freedom. It allows you to let go of the need for external validation and focus on being true to yourself. When you stop chasing approval, you create space for the right people to enter your life, those who appreciate you for who you really are, not for who you pretend to be. These are the people who will support your growth, respect your boundaries, and encourage you to shine in your own unique way. In embracing this truth, you cultivate self-acceptance and self-love. You begin to realize that your worth is inherent, and it's not dependent on how others perceive you. The right people will be drawn to your authenticity, and those who aren't are simply not meant to walk your path with you. By releasing the need to be liked by everyone, you free yourself to live fully and unapologetically as you are. Failure is often viewed with fear and shame, but in truth, it is one of life's greatest teachers. Many of us are conditioned to avoid failure at all costs, seeing it as a sign of weakness, incompetence, or lack of worth. However, failure is an inevitable part of any meaningful journey. It is not the end of the road, but rather a stepping stone toward growth, success, and self-discovery. When we learn to embrace failure as a natural part of life, we open ourselves to its hidden gifts. Failure is not a reflection of your character or abilities, but rather a reflection of a particular moment or situation. It's a sign that something didn't go as planned, but it doesn't mean you are incapable or unworthy. In fact, failure often serves as a necessary detour, guiding you away from paths that no longer serve you and pushing you towards something better. It forces you to reassess, reflect, and try again with newfound wisdom and insight. Every successful person has experienced failure, sometimes many times over. In fact, some of the most remarkable achievements in history were built on a foundation of failure. Thomas Edison, for example, famously failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about these failures, he said he didn't see them as failures at all. He simply found thousands of ways that didn't work. His persistence and willingness to learn from each mistake were what ultimately led to his success. Failure teaches resilience. When you fail, you are given the opportunity to build mental and emotional strength. It challenges you to rise up, dust yourself off, and try again. Each time you face failure and continue forward, you develop a deeper sense of inner strength and perseverance. This resilience is what allows you to keep going when times get tough, and it ultimately becomes one of your greatest assets in life. Moreover, failure encourages humility and openness. It reminds us that we don't have all the answers and that learning is a lifelong process. Failure humbles us, making us more receptive to new ideas, perspectives, and opportunities. It strips away the ego and invites us to grow beyond our current limitations. Instead of fearing failure, we should welcome it as a stepping stone toward our goals. Each failure brings with it valuable lessons we might not have learned if everything had gone smoothly. Failure invites us to innovate, to adapt, and to try new approaches. It sharpens our skills and deepens our understanding. The more we fail, the closer we come to success, because every failure gets us one step closer to figuring out what works. Ultimately, failure is not something to avoid or dread. It is part of the process of becoming the best version of yourself. Embrace failure as a stepping stone, knowing that each stumble brings you closer to where you are meant to be. It is through failure that you find your true strength, wisdom, and path forward. Boundaries are essential for healthy, loving relationships. While the idea of setting boundaries may seem contrary to love, it's quite the opposite. Boundaries are the foundation of true, respectful love. They protect both individuals in the relationship by ensuring that each person's needs, values, and emotional well-being are honored. Without boundaries, relationships can easily become imbalanced, with one person overstepping or ignoring the other's feelings, which leads to resentment, burnout, or a loss of self in the process. At its core, a boundary is simply a limit or line that defines where one person ends and another begins. It's a clear statement of what is acceptable and what isn't, what you are comfortable with, and what crosses a line for you. Far from being selfish or unkind, boundaries are a way of taking responsibility for your own emotional health and encouraging others to do the same. When you set healthy boundaries, you are saying, I value myself, and I also value this relationship enough to communicate openly about what I need. In romantic relationships, friendships, or even family dynamics, boundaries foster respect and trust. They give each person the space to express their needs without fear of judgment or rejection. For example, setting boundaries around your time, personal space, or emotional energy prevents feelings of being overwhelmed or taken for granted. By clearly stating your limits, you prevent misunderstandings and create a sense of safety within the relationship, where both people know they can express themselves freely. When boundaries are absent, however, the relationship can become unhealthy. One person may give too much, neglecting their own needs in the process, while the other person may take too much without even realizing it. This can lead to feelings of exhaustion, frustration, or even resentment. Boundaries prevent this kind of imbalance by ensuring that both people are aware of and respecting each other's limits. They help maintain a healthy flow of give and take, where both individuals feel valued, heard, and supported. It's also important to recognize that boundaries are an act of self-love. When you set boundaries, you are affirming your own worth and protecting your emotional well-being. You are saying, I am worthy of respect, and my needs matter. This act of self-respect sets the tone for how others will treat you. If you don't honor your own boundaries, it's difficult for others to know where your limits are. By establishing and maintaining boundaries, you teach others how to treat you with the respect and love you deserve. Ultimately, boundaries are necessary for love to flourish. They create the space for two people to grow individually and together without losing themselves in the relationship. Far from pushing people away, boundaries deepen intimacy by fostering mutual respect, open communication, and emotional safety. When you set boundaries, you cultivate healthier, more fulfilling relationships built on a foundation of trust, honesty, and genuine love. Forgiveness is often seen as a noble act, a way to grant mercy to those who have wronged us. However, its true power lies in the freedom it brings to the one who forgives. Holding on to grudges and resentment can be like carrying a heavy burden. It weighs down our hearts and minds, preventing us from experiencing joy, peace, and the fullness of life. When we choose to forgive, we release ourselves from the shackles of anger and pain, reclaiming our power and opening the door to healing and liberation. Forgiveness does not mean condoning or excusing the actions of others. It doesn't mean forgetting what happened or pretending that it didn't hurt. Instead, forgiveness is an intentional decision to let go of the negative emotions tied to past grievances. It's a process of shifting our focus from the offense to our own healing. When we hold on to bitterness, we allow the past to dictate our present and future. By choosing to forgive, we take back control of our lives and emotional state, freeing ourselves from the cycle of suffering. The act of forgiveness can be deeply transformative. It allows us to break the chains of resentment that bind us to the person or situation that caused us pain. Instead of being defined by our hurt, we become defined by our resilience and capacity for love. Forgiveness opens our hearts and minds to new possibilities, allowing us to move forward without the weight of the past holding us back. It creates space for healing, compassion, and understanding, not just toward others, but also toward ourselves. Furthermore, forgiveness is essential for our mental and emotional well-being. Studies have shown that holding on to anger and resentment can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and even physical health problems. In contrast, those who practice forgiveness tend to experience lower levels of stress and better overall health. When we forgive, we release toxic emotions that can poison our well-being and invite in positive feelings such as peace, love, and joy. Forgiveness is also an act of self-compassion. It acknowledges that we are all imperfect beings capable of making mistakes. By forgiving others, we remind ourselves that we too are deserving of grace and understanding. It allows us to view our own flaws and those of others with a sense of empathy, creating a deeper connection to our shared humanity. Ultimately, forgiveness is freedom. It liberates us from the past and allows us to step into a future filled with hope and possibility. It enables us to live fully in the present moment, unburdened by the weight of past hurts. In choosing to forgive, we choose to embrace life with an open heart, ready to experience love, joy, and connection once more. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, a path to healing that transforms not only our relationships with others, but also our relationship with ourselves. Self-love is often misconstrued as selfishness, a notion that can prevent many from embracing the importance of nurturing their own well-being. In a society that frequently prioritizes self-sacrifice and the needs of others, the idea of self-love may feel indulgent or even irresponsible. However, understanding that self-love is not selfish but rather a fundamental necessity can lead to a healthier and more fulfilling life. At its core, self-love is about recognizing your own worth and treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion that you would offer to a loved one. It involves setting boundaries, honoring your needs, and taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical health. When you practice self-love, you cultivate a positive relationship with yourself, fostering a sense of self-acceptance and inner peace. This foundation enables you to navigate life's challenges with greater resilience and grace. When we fail to prioritize self-love, we risk falling into patterns of self-neglect, burnout, and resentment. We may overextend ourselves to please others, sacrificing our own needs in the process. This can lead to feelings of depletion, frustration, and even resentment toward those we are trying to help. However, when we prioritize self-love, we recharge our emotional batteries, allowing us to show up fully for others. Just as you cannot pour from an empty cup, you cannot truly love and support others if you are not caring for yourself. Moreover, practicing self-love enhances our capacity for empathy and compassion toward others. When we learn to love ourselves, we develop a deeper understanding of our own struggles, which enables us to relate to the challenges faced by others. This empathy allows us to form more authentic and meaningful connections, as we can engage with others from a place of understanding rather than judgment. Self-love is also essential for personal growth. It encourages us to embrace our imperfections and view our mistakes as opportunities for learning and development. Instead of being overly critical of ourselves, self-love allows us to approach our shortcomings with curiosity and grace, paving the way for growth and self-improvement. It is essential to recognize that self-love is not a destination but a journey. It requires ongoing practice and intention. Engaging in activities that nourish your soul, surrounding yourself with supportive people, and challenging negative self-talk are all important steps in cultivating a loving relationship with yourself. In conclusion, self-love is not selfish, it is an act of self-preservation and empowerment. It is a commitment to honoring your own needs and well-being while enabling you to be a more present, compassionate, and loving individual in your relationships with others. By embracing self-love, you create a ripple effect that extends far beyond yourself, inspiring others to cultivate their own self-worth and compassion. In this way, self-love becomes a powerful catalyst for positive change in the world around us. The belief that you are stronger than you think is one of the most empowering realizations you can come to in life. Many of us underestimate our resilience and capacity to overcome challenges, often viewing ourselves through a lens of doubt or insecurity. Yet it is in the face of adversity that we often discover our true strength. Life is filled with obstacles, whether they manifest as personal struggles, professional setbacks, or unexpected hardships. During these times, we may feel overwhelmed, questioning our ability to cope. However, when we dig deep and confront these challenges, we frequently unearth a well of strength we never knew we possessed. This inherent strength can manifest in various ways. It might appear as the courage to stand up for yourself or others, the determination to persevere in the face of adversity, or the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Often it takes the pressure of difficult situations to reveal the layers of resilience within us. Think about moments in your life when you faced obstacles and thought you would never get through them. Perhaps it was a tough personal crisis, a health issue, or a significant loss. Many times we surprise ourselves with our ability to navigate through these challenges, emerging on the other side stronger and wiser. Recognizing that you are stronger than you think can change the narrative you tell yourself. It allows you to shift from a mindset of fear and limitation to one of empowerment and possibility. When you view challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than insurmountable obstacles, you cultivate a resilient mindset that helps you confront life's difficulties with confidence. One key aspect of embracing your strength is understanding that vulnerability is not a weakness but a part of the human experience. Allowing yourself to feel pain, fear, or uncertainty is crucial for growth. By facing these emotions head-on, you can begin to transform them into sources of strength. Each time you confront your fears or push through discomfort, you reinforce your resilience and build confidence in your abilities. Additionally, surrounding yourself with supportive people can help you realize your strength. When others believe in you and encourage you to embrace your potential, it becomes easier to recognize your capabilities. Seek out those who uplift you and share your struggles and triumphs with them. Their support can serve as a powerful reminder of your strength. Ultimately, you are stronger than you think. Life will continue to present challenges, but with each one you face, you have the opportunity to grow and discover just how resilient you truly are. Embrace your journey with an open heart and mind, and remember that within you lies an incredible strength that can guide you through even the toughest of times. By acknowledging your resilience and embracing your inner power, you can navigate life with confidence and grace, no matter what obstacles may arise. Your life is your own creation, a masterpiece crafted by the choices you make and the thoughts you nurture. This empowering concept invites you to recognize that you are the architect of your own reality. Each day presents a blank canvas and you hold the brush, understanding that your life is a reflection of your beliefs, values, and actions can lead to profound personal transformation. When you take ownership of your life, you empower yourself to shape it according to your desires and aspirations. Often people fall into the trap of believing that external circumstances dictate their lives. They may feel like victims of fate, waiting for things to change or for someone else to take the reins. However, true empowerment lies in realizing that you have the ability to influence your circumstances through your mindset and decisions. While you cannot control everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond to those events. This response shapes your experience and determines the direction of your life. Creating your own life involves a deep understanding of your core values and desires. It requires you to reflect on what truly matters to you and what you want to achieve. By setting clear intentions and goals, you provide yourself with a roadmap for your journey. It's important to remember that this process is not always linear. There will be detours, challenges, and setbacks. However, each obstacle presents an opportunity for growth and learning. When you encounter difficulties, ask yourself how you can use those experiences to evolve and strengthen your resolve. Moreover, your thoughts play a crucial role in shaping your reality. Negative self-talk and limiting beliefs can hinder your progress and trap you in a cycle of doubt and fear. Conversely, cultivating a positive mindset and embracing affirmations can open doors to new possibilities. By focusing on your strengths and visualizing your goals, you create a powerful momentum that propels you forward. Surrounding yourself with supportive individuals is also essential in your journey of self-creation. Seek out those who inspire and uplift you, as they can provide encouragement and perspective when challenges arise. Their belief in your potential can reinforce your own confidence and commitment to your path. Ultimately, your life is a reflection of your choices, and you possess the power to shape it into a fulfilling and meaningful existence. Embrace the responsibility that comes with this understanding. Live intentionally, create with passion, and trust in your ability to manifest the life you envision. Every day is an opportunity to redefine your narrative and align your actions with your true self. When you recognize that your life is your own creation, you unlock the potential to lead a life filled with purpose, joy, and authenticity.